Alright, so today we have a gorgeous blonde coming in, and the first thing I always start with is a proper cleanse. You would be amazed how many artists skip this step, and honestly, it shows in their results. Any trace of makeup, oils, or skincare sitting on the skin is going to interfere with how the tint absorbs. I use a gentle micellar solution on a cotton pad, and I make sure to go over the entire brow area, not just the hairs themselves, but the skin underneath and around. Because later, when we map and tint, we need that canvas completely clean. Now, I am brushing through the brows with a spoolie, and this is where the real assessment happens. You can see the natural growth pattern, where the hairs are thick, where they are sparse, where they change direction. This client has beautiful natural brows, but they are quite light, which is super common with blondes. The bone structure is great though, so we have a lot to work with. I always take a moment here to really study the face from different angles, because symmetry is everything, and no two brows are ever identical. The goal is sisters, not twins, right? So now we are getting into the tweezing phase, and this is where precision really matters. I am stretching the skin taut with one hand and using pointed tweezers with the other. The key is to only remove what is truly outside the shape you want. I see so many beginners go overboard here, taking out too much, and then you are left trying to compensate with product later. Less is more with tweezing. Every single hair you remove is a decision. I am working just outside the natural brow line, cleaning up the edges to create that crisp boundary between brow and skin. And I always tweeze before mapping, not after. Here is why. If you map first and then try to tweeze around the paste, you risk smudging your outline and losing that clean reference line. Some artists do it differently, but I have found over the years that this sequence just works better. You get your clean shape first, and then the mapping paste locks it in visually. Now, this is my favorite part. I am opening up the brow mapping paste and look at that consistency. It is this thick, creamy white paste that sits right where you place it without bleeding or spreading. The whole point of mapping is to create a visual boundary, like a stencil around the brow. So when you apply tint, you know exactly where it should and should not go. I am using an OKO flat-angled brush here, which gives you incredible control. You want crisp, sharp lines, especially along the bottom edge of the brow, because that is what the eye sees first. I am working on the tail now, making sure that arch and endpoint are symmetrical. This is honestly the most technical part of the entire procedure. Millimeters matter here. The paste goes above and below the brow, framing it perfectly. If your mapping is off, everything downstream is off. It is like laying a foundation. You can see how the white paste creates this perfect outline that the brow hairs sit inside of. Beautiful. Quick trim with the scissors here. Any hairs that are too long get cut down to a uniform length. You do not want some hairs sticking up way past the others after lamination. It creates an uneven texture. Just a gentle trim, nothing dramatic. And then we give her a little water break, because honestly, comfort matters. A relaxed client is a still client, and a still client means better results for everyone. Now look at that mapping. Both brows are outlined and you can already see the shape coming together. This is the moment where you step back and really evaluate. Are they even? Is the arch in the right place? Does the tail length suit her face shape? With this client, we are going for a soft, natural arch, nothing too sharp or dramatic. It complements her features without overpowering them. Okay, tinting time. This is where the magic happens. I am using a dark brown tint, and with blondes, shade selection is absolutely critical. Too dark and it looks harsh, too light and there is no point. This particular shade is going to develop into a rich, warm brown that perfectly complements her skin tone and hair color. I am applying with a thin, angled brush, working the tint into the mapped area. The paste acts as a barrier, so the tint only goes where we want it. That is the beauty of proper mapping. working on the other side now, and I am really pressing the tint into the skin. For blondes especially, you want the skin underneath to pick up some color too, not just the hairs. That is what creates that filled-in, polished look without looking like you drew your brows on with a marker. The trick is even consistent application. No thick spots, no thin spots. And you can see I am following the paste line exactly. The tint is processing now, and already the transformation is incredible. Look at the difference between where we started and where we are now. Those pale, barely visible brows are now framed and defined, but we are not done yet. Last step, and honestly one of the most important. This is the OKO Brow Fix. It is a lamination gel that sets the hairs in place and gives that gorgeous, fluffy, brushed up look that everyone is obsessed with right now. I am using the spoolie applicator to brush each hair upward, creating that feathered texture. This product holds all day without feeling crunchy or stiff. It is the finishing touch that takes brows from good to absolutely stunning. And there you have it. Look at that result, perfectly shaped, beautifully tinted, with that soft laminated finish. She went from barely there blonde brows to these full, defined, gorgeous arches that completely frame her face. This is exactly why I love what I do. Every single client walks out looking like a better version of themselves. If you want to see more transformations like this, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, you do not want to miss what is coming next.